Hello, everybody, and welcome to 3+1 with Tracey and Zack. Tracey, how are you, my love?
I am stressed out, but I am good.
It's been a stressful week in America. I think it has been a stressful week in America. It's almost time to release the stress with the weekend, and I think that we have really the best guest that we could have tonight to take us into the weekend. The one and only Morocco Omari, my brother. Welcome to the 3+1 live cast.
Yo, what's good, man? Thank you for having me, brother.
Now, you two know each other from Chicago. Is that the beginning of this relationship?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
So,
go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I want the two of you to tell the world about this relationship.
I'll let Tracey go first.
Okay, so I was a student in the MFA program at the theater school at DePaul University when I first laid eyes on Morocco on stage doing intimate apparel.
Wow.
At Steppenwolf.
Wow.
And I was in love with the play anyway because Velma Austin is just a tour de force of an actress. But when I heard Morocco's voice, I was looking down at something. I was reading the playbill, and when I heard his voice, I was like, in my mind, I was like, who is that? I mean, his voice draws you in. His acting was just so honest and pure. And then later on, I find out, we have the same agent. So I was able to be in the same room of someone that I looked up to. So Morocco, you might not know that, but
I didn't know.
I looked up to you before I even knew who you were.
I appreciate it. I didn't know that story. I mean, my introduction to you was, you were part of Congo Square, and y'all were putting out good work, and I was going to see all the plays, so I knew your work from there. You know what I mean? And I had moved back from LA to Chicago, and there was this hot theater company popping in Chicago. I was like, where did they come from? And they had some hitters, man. Everybody was solid, so I was a fan of what they were doing. It was like a new movement in Chicago with these artists, man. And I was very proud of these guys. And eventually I got to work with you all, and it was an amazing time. So man, I appreciate that though, Tracey.
Absolutely. You got to give people their flowers while they're here. Like, you inspire me, and that's why I believe we're still very close now, because you continue to inspire me. You continue to just pour positivity into me. And that's who Morocco is, y'all. He is just a man who is going to uplift you, empower you, and we're going to have a good kiki,
We're gonna rap a pace. We played husband and wife in radio golf.
We did. We played husband and wife. I gotta tell this story. So we do this play, and we had to rehearse in Chicago for like 7 days or 8 days. And then we took it to Virginia Stage Company out in Norfolk, Virginia. And I will never forget this one scene that we were rehearsing. It was the kissing scene. And Morocco did this thing where he leaned me back and would give me a kiss. And every day in rehearsal, I'd be like, line. I just couldn't. So yes, lady. Yes, lady. You made me forget all my lines and everything. It is what it is, okay?
When you're younger. Yeah.
Zack, we can't hear you, baby. You on mute.
What I said was he literally took the lines right out of your mouth.
Oh, okay.
Before they were in your mouth. That's what I said. So, Morocco, one thing that I've seen and looked at is your extensive experiences in television and film. And you've been doing this for a long time. When did you get your very first role? Like, it's been a couple of decades that you've been doing this work, that you've been committed to.
Hey, Zach. Hey man, slow down with that couple of decades, man. You aging me, brother. What's wrong with you, man? Like, you know,
we're in the
ancient, right?
same decade, brother. So I'm aging myself.
No, man. Wow. I did my first. I got my first role on stage in '95 in Chicago, and I did my first role on TV in '97. So it's been, you know, I've been working steadily ever since, man. You know, I guess in 1998, I quit the job I was working, and I've just been acting since '98, man. Just acting, writing, directing, producing, and teaching. So for the last, what is that, 22 years, man, I've just been doing this for a living, you know what I mean? And some years are good, some years not so good, but you know, you take the good with the bad, you stack your money, you invest your money correctly, and you know, and you invest in yourself, you know, and that's what I've been doing and been able to sustain myself because I always tell actors, you know, anybody can get a job, but you want a career, you know what I mean? We can all get a book a job. We can all go in and, you know, be great in the audition room, but you know, it's about sustaining and having a career. This game is a marathon. It's not a sprint. You know, some people get a role and you're like, damn, man, well, you know, but you know, it's all about timing, man. You know, if I'd have hit in my early 20s, I probably wouldn't be in the game because I wasn't equipped enough. You know, I wasn't seasoned enough. You know, it's like your grandmother's skillet. You know, you get all that history and that seasoning in it. You know what I mean? You can't just buy it from the stove and expect the food to be great. You know, so I had to learn and earn my stripes, man. You know, and you know, now it's like, you know, what I do on a P Valley or any other TV show is from years of training and years of being on that Chicago stage, man. And you know, I'm in the New York area now, so the New York stage, you know, you meet some great artists like Tracey. I watch Tracey's work, and we all, you know, as actors, we steal different things. We see things that work, and like, okay, I like that. I'm gonna take that right there, you know, and use it and make it my own, you know. So I've earned them stripes, brother.
Yeah.
You know.
Tracey, you had a question. I know you got excited at some point.
I was just gonna say, yeah, I was agreeing with him. But I wanted to talk a little bit about training, Morocco. A lot of people, I find people in my DMs all the time. I want to be an actor. How can I become an actor? And my first response to them is, have you been trained? Have you taken a class? You don't necessarily have to go to school. So talk to us a little bit about, because you are a teacher and you've been in the game so long, talk to us a little bit about training.
Well, I think that, you know, for me, I didn't go to, you know, I fell into this, man. I mean, I was kind of majoring in theater down at Jackson State University as a fluke because I wanted to play pro football. I dropped out of school, went to the Marine Corps, and you know, ended up in the war. And then I came to Chicago, and then I took a few classes, and I got booked for a play. You know, and then I understudied. I had the luxury of understudying Ma Rainey's Black Bottom at Goodman Theater, and I was understudying this unknown actor. You might not know him. His name is Harry Lennox, you know, and we had, it was some hitters on stage. You had Harry Lennox, you had Ernest Perry Jr. You had a lot of, and I was like, you know what I mean? You're like a fly on the wall, and you're like, oh wow, look at that. That's how it's supposed to. So every night I was getting a master's class. So as actors, we have to be, we have to learn. We have to, you know, we have to know what works. We have to, you know, I mean, training is good. Training is great, you know. And then but you know, like theater, film, and television are kind of opposite because whereas theater, we're projecting, we're playing to an audience, and TV film, we're internalizing, and we're you know, we're living moments. So you don't have to have those big movements, you know. And then you have to know where that camera is, how close that camera is, and then you minimize that movement even more. So you know those eyes are very important, you know, to play it real and to tell the truth. So training is always important. You never stop training, whether you're you know, watching a movie, going to see a play, you know, at a workshop, studying with your friends. You know, there's beautiful teachers on YouTube that you can watch. And if you get a mentor like yourself or some of the actors who made a living, that's great because they can always be in your ear and help you out. But you know, people wake up every day and like, I don't want to be an actor. And it's like, okay, why? You know what I mean? Are you trying to be famous?
Yep.
You know, or is it because this is what you love and this is what you feel that you're supposed to be doing? You know, because acting can be exhausting when you do it right. You're tired. I come off of it, especially if I come off a play, or August Wilson play or something. I'm in my dressing room like this, just sweating like you know what I mean? Like I fought 15 rounds, like it's a heavyweight bout, you know, because the mind believes what you tell it, you know, so you're going to go on that emotion roller coaster and that ride. So you should be exhausted, you know, and you sacrifice a lot. You know, I have two daughters. One is grown and one is 10, and I'm away from them a lot. I sacrifice, you know, a lot to do what I do to be able to fund an education or a better life than I had when I was growing up. You know what I mean? And hopefully they understand and they get it. You know, yeah, I try to communicate with them, and I think they get it. You know, but you lose a lot of time with it. You know, so you have to be willing to give yourself to that craft. Like any art form is, you know, 10,000 man hours, you become a master at it. You know,
Yeah.
so you can't. Oh, I'm gonna be an actor. Okay, that's great. Go ahead.
You know, you said so much.
Sometimes.
That was a rich amount of information, and I you know, my brain was going because one thing you said was earlier. You said if you would have started in the game earlier, and you would have that you don't think that you would still be in the game, that you would no longer be doing this. Why do you feel as though you would not have still been doing it if you started much younger?
Hold on, I think he's having a technical difficulty.
So text him, Tracey, to come back. Like I'm gonna that way his internet may refresh and restart.
Okay.
Yeah, he's back. No, yeah, he's back. There we go. There we go. So I think that hopefully probably like rebooted.
Yeah.
Good. And so my question was, you said earlier that had you really started in the game earlier, that you would probably not still be doing this. Why do you say that? Or if you actually said, if I would have found big success early, I probably still wouldn't be doing this.
You know, if I could say one of the things that, you know, and I say that now, you know, because as you know, as an artist, you have to love. There's a love-hate relationship that you have with your artistry. There's a lot of gatekeepers in the way of you doing just for you to get on that set or on that stage. There's a lot of things that has nothing to do with your talent. If I had a chance to do it again, I believe I would have produced and directed. And just because I like giving voices to artists that I respect, writers that I respect, and people that don't normally get a chance, because a lot of times this can be a really close community. It's a community of who you know and who knows you. You know, there's, you know, you see, I mean, now you see, you know, reality stars and, you know, of course, music artists that are taking, I don't want to say taking roles, but being put in roles that they're not equipped to do, you know, and I don't call any names, but, you know, it's, it kind of, especially in the African-American artists, I mean, we have a lot of, you know, people that take roles that there are a bunch of actors who are capable, that are amazing, you know, and then they're not getting a shot, you know, they're not getting a shot, and they're I know some amazing talent, and it's just like, man, they sit on the sideline. Some people just give up, you know. So I would rather have more power in this game to give a voice, you know, to our people, you know, and that's what I'm doing now. I'm morphing it more into that. I can't hear you.
I don't think I would have been. I wouldn't have been equipped in my 20s for success because I wanted fame. I'm not gonna lie. I wanted to be Angela Bassett. It wasn't until I got further along in my career that I realized, you know what, Tracey, you're on your way to becoming a working artist. That is the goal. And you're learning each day, each time you step on stage, each time you go on set. It is truly helped to mold me to be patient. It has helped me to be more appreciative. I don't know if I would have done that back if I was 26, 27, I would have been wilding out. I would have been, buying Birkin bags and all kinds of, stupid stuff instead of really investing in myself, investing in my family, trying to build generational wealth, things like that. So I thank God he didn't give it to me, fame, at least, I don't know if I would have been able to really handle that. But as you continue, you've spoken, you talked about your daughters, and I've fallen in love with your youngest. I wasn't able to meet your oldest, but tell us a little bit about being a dad and the importance of really being present, because that's the thing that I enjoy about watching you and your daughter is you are so present in all things that she is involved in. So talk a little bit about that and why you're so committed.
Well, she didn't have a choice to be brought into this world, So I mean, it's my responsibility as a father. It's my responsibility to raise strong kids. In this case, strong women. It's my responsibility to show an example of a Black man who's working hard and who's being positive and who's giving back, who travels, who's being worldly. So I feel like that's my responsibility to them, to leave that legacy and to give that to them. So when I'm gone, they tell their kids about their grandfather or their great-grand or my great-grandkids. Just, it's one of those things of just teaching your kids hard work, teaching your kids to dream and to go after their goals, because I come from the west side of Chicago, you know what I mean? And I've come a long way to where I was, brought up and where I came from. And, letting them know that nothing is impossible. If you put forth the effort and if you dream big, you can attain everything you want. It might take a while. It might, there's going to be some bumps in the road, but to never give up, So by me never giving up and by me being what I deem successful, then I show them the example and I can feed and nourish them and they can take those life lessons throughout life and they can feed their kids the same way that I fed them, So it's very important for them to know what I do. It's very important for them to be, a part of it. Because it's all a journey and you have to enjoy the journey, because if you don't enjoy that journey, you won't enjoy the destination that you think you want to be at, so that's you got to keep your kids well-rounded, so
that does my heart good, because when I was like 10, 11, 12, 13, my dad was coaching at Alabama A&M University, and we didn't get to spend a lot of time together. So what he would do, he would let me be the water girl. I looked forward to that every home game. I was on the field with my dad. So, growing, now that I'm older, we just have a stronger bond because of the things that he did for me when I was that age. Even when he was too busy, he still found a way to implement me into his life. And I when I watch you with your daughter, that's what I think of. She's going to be older and me and my daddy, you X, Y, Z, and my daddy did. Yeah. That's how I am. Like, men can't come to me.
That's how you are. That is how you are.
Men can't come to me with no BS, because I'll be like, but my daddy did it. My daddy was a coach and he was busy in all of these things.
Grandfather too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, I just love it. And I don't think I've ever told you that. Like, I see myself and your daughter, and I just really love your relationship with her.
Yeah.
So you had you've done, again, we talked about the hey Rodney, we've talked about the extensive amount of work that you've done in the industry, and of course, you know, no discussion of this great work is complete without talking about wrapping the role that you've had as Tariq on Empire. The show just ended. It was an iconic show in our community. And I think and I know it's definitely left a major imprint on pop culture. What was it like for you working on Empire? Because that's what I know our viewers, that's what they want us to get into and talk about. Tell us a little bit about your Empire experience.
Well, you know, I was always been a fan of like Taraji and Terrence. You know, you kind of like, you know, Terrence been in the game, man, for a long time. You look back at like, you know, the Jacksons movie, Sparks and all that, you know, Terrence Howard's been around for a minute.
Yep.
And then when Taraji came on the scene, I remember seeing her in Baby Boy, and they both killed Hustle and Flow, man. You know, so they've been putting down beautiful work. So when you go to that set, you better be prepared, you know. And that was one of the things. It was just like going to work was like, I'm going to get a class, and then I'm gonna see if I'm able to hold my own as well. Because you know, you're just like, all right, well, let me see what I got. Let me hit him this way, or let me play the music that way. Okay, if she comes high, I'm gonna go low. If he comes this way, then I'm gonna go that way. You know, because they both like to improvise. So you got to be able to think on your feet. You know, and it was great. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed being on the set. I had a good time, man. I had a good time crafting the character. I had a blast, you know.
And you know, this is also look, I guess I got a lemon seed went down the wrong way. I'm trying to like keep it from coming up while I'm right. You know, it won't come right up from this seed. But now I think you make a really great point. I just want to just take a moment to recap really a lesson that I'm hearing from you for all of our viewers, for those who are watching now and those that will watch later. Breaking into the industry takes time. Fame probably shouldn't be anybody's ultimate goal. If you're going to have a real career, you talked about Terrence Howard. When you look at yourself, it's people that have put in work, that have studied the craft, mastered the craft, received training on the craft, who actually have a passion for the craft of acting. And as a result, over time, you'll get there. That's kind of what I'm hearing, and kind of some of the themes that are kind of emerging. Now you are on really cable television's most popular show, P-Valley.
Down in the valley where the girls get nice.
It is hands down the summer's hottest show. It is a huge success. First off, congratulations on season 2. Show has been renewed for season 2. So excited to see where it's going to evolve. What has it been like for you working on P-Valley and I won't say, I guess it is it is a sudden success. It may not have been unexpected success, because I would assume when you guys were doing this, you knew you had something good on your hands. But for it to have just taken off as fast as it has, to where on about the second episode, it was renewed by Showtime. To me, Starz. To me, it says this is sudden success. So what has that experience been like for you?
That's a good question. I had a good time. I mean, I'm playing Big L, man. So Big L is like, you know, I used to spend summers. My mom's side, my maternal side is from Tennessee. They're from Jackson, Tennessee, like 80 miles from Memphis. So I got people in Memphis, I got people in Jackson, I got people in Nashville, all over Tennessee. So I used to spend my summers down in Jackson, man. And so my cousins, you know, the accents, and, you know, Salem Baptist Church down in Jackson, Lane college and all that, man, we used to go up there. And so for me, it was like a lot of nostalgia. I got all the, and for my character, I was like, I need these gold rings on each finger, you know. And he wears gold and herringbones and gold nugget watches. My mom used to wear. She still does. She has gold rings on each finger, man. She's from Jackson, bless her heart. My grandmother had gold teeth. So it was fun for me, and it was giving a voice to a community or a destination that normally don't get that voice. And I approach each role with humanity. I find the love in it. I find what he's fighting for. I find, I just break the character down and craft him, and I was living with my cousin in Atlanta, and he's from Jackson. So he was, every day I was just hearing the accent and the movements and all of that, man. I was getting a good dose of Southern hospitality. So I had a good time. And, Katori Hall, she's brilliant. She's a playwright. She started as an actor, became a playwright. And here we are, man, So, I'm honored that she gave me the call. I'm honored that she thought of me for the role. And, I just had to, put some love on this role, put some manhood on him, because that's my uncle. That's my grandfather. That's my cousin. Those are people that I grew up. Those was when I was younger. They sitting up barbecuing and playing spades. That's that dude with the socks, the shorts on with the socks pulled up with the sandals on, man. With the, those my people. And you got to, no matter what you think of them or whatever your perceived idea of them, they were funny. They taught you a lot of valuable lessons. They came up during a time where it wasn't a lot of professions available to them. So they made a way when there wasn't a way. They provided when it was almost hard to provide. You know what I mean? And you learn those life lessons, some hard, some soft. Sometimes they finesse you. Sometimes they came in like, an elephant or a gorilla, but you learn the lessons and it came out of love, and they wanted to try to keep you out of trouble and keep you in school and keep you on the right path. So, that's who he is, man,
That is absolutely the big L that we've gotten to see thus far. And I'm excited to see where the character goes. I know in the last episode that we were able to see that, he was looking at where his future was going to take him if the pink, or as they say on the show, the pank, if the pank, shuts down. Tracey, you wanted to add in?
I was gonna say and ask. I really enjoy your relationship with Uncle Clifford. Like I've talked to you about it before. Like you two on a screen together, it's like an acting clinic. What's it like working with Nico?
Thank you.
No, for real. Yeah.
I mean, me and Nico, man, the crazy thing is me and Nico share the same birthday. So we have a lot of things that are totally alike. We were born on the same day.
What, Taurus?
That's crazy. That's crazy. Almost as crazy as me and huh?
You're a Taurus? You're a Taurus?
His it keeps going.
Yeah, we're Tauruses. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you know?
Yeah. We were born on the same day, man. He got intel, man. But so me and Nico, we did our backstory. We just sat up and we were just talking about the characters and how they became, friends and workers, and we just built this backstory that was solid. And then seeing it on screen, as actors, we want it to work. We think it's working. We feel like it's working. But then when you see, you say, okay, all right, I see it. It's working. There's history with these two characters. Nico comes from the theater. He incredible artist. So we had a shorthand conversation. And that's one of the things I find, that when you work with theater actors, we have a shorthand conversation, because we could sit at a table for a week or so and just break down the script and break down these characters. So when you get to a set, it's just like, okay, bang, bang, bang. We can just make these choices really quick, you know, because we've done it over and over and over again, where you're just like, man, yeah, put a note. Okay, let's play that note. Okay, cool, you know. So.
Well, I'm loving it every week.
Yeah, everyone loves it. I mean, it's a tremendous hit. And so I think you hit on it, Morocco, when you said that this show is giving voice and giving a mirror to people that haven't had that opportunity on television before. Mm-hmm. So people are able to see people they relate to, people that they know, and people who look like mm-hmm. them. Even if you guys may not sound like them as a Mississippi native, I know you spent some time in Jackson. I'm from Mississippi. Some of the accents now stretch it a little bit, mm-hmm. but the performances have been absolutely phenomenal.
But you not from Chucalissa?
Well, you know what? No, I have never been to Chucalissa. I have not ever been there. So maybe it's a special part of the Delta where the girls do get naked and their accents are just like that.
But it's really, their accents are really a lot like Memphis.
More so. Well, and that's a Delta, to be honest, and to be fair. That is the Delta. Memphis is in the Delta as well.
Yeah, and Katori is from Memphis. So Memphis and Mississippi, they right there.
Yeah. And one of those things with TV, man, if you go two, man, look here, man, goddamn it, you'd be like, yo, right. You can't understand. We're not going to be able to understand that. Pull back.
So, as we talk about P-Valley, and where P-Valley is headed, what do you foresee for what will be a season 2? Like, what do you think the show will evolve? How will the show evolve in your opinion, based on the people that you work with, what you know? Because the season 2 always means better budget. The season 2 means keeping it fresh and new. What do you think that evolution will bring for those P-Valley fans out there?
I wish I could look inside Katori's brain and tell you, my brother. I mean,
brilliant writer.
That's the brilliance of Katori. I don't know. I was getting the script every week like, oh, okay, all right. You know what I mean? So, and I think a brilliant writer will keep on your toes that you got to keep guessing. You don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen. And like, we've got some solid people. As you see, Loretta Devine came on last week. We got Isaiah Washington. We got some hitters on there. And who's coming on next season, Katori's brilliant, and she's a Taurus as well, and she's very specific. She's very specific.
Well, tell Katori
There's a lot of bulls on that set, man.
You tell Katori.
Well, we tried to bring you on, but you had another job, Tracey. You booked a role, but you couldn't do it because you were down in. You were in the South. You were in the Queen of the South. I
want to be. I can see myself as the councilwoman. Yeah, you tell her to write me.
No. You're not going to Pussy Valley if you're not going to be on the pole.
Oh,
so you're going to have no. If you're going to go on the show, you're going to go big or you're going to stay at home.
I'm done. Those days are over. I am a spectator.
Tracey.
I will watch all day.
Okay. So you could be like, but you could, there is definitely a role for you. Now, I don't want you as a councilwoman fighting against the casino, or, I want to see you do a role that's going to really shock everyone who knows you. I want to see you on the pole. But if you're unwilling to do the pole, then maybe you can be like maybe a gangster patron.
Okay, I'll do that.
Throwing money out, at the girls on the pole.
If Katori will have me.
Or you could, Pastor's wife.
Yeah.
I can see you in that role as well. Pastor's wife, haven't seen her yet.
Yeah, she
And that's
could be. She could be the first lady, right? Yeah,
right. We need that as well.
first lady coming in
Another
time.
option for you. So, on P Valley, we have a number of prominent strippers who are doing great work, making a living, but very few of those strippers will make a living like this young lady here and the man that she is featured with. This is First Lady Melania Trump and Rush Limbaugh, conservative commentator, who just this past week, actually 2 weeks ago, started to emphasize that Vice Presidential nominee Kamala Harris is a hoe. He called her a hoe on his radio program. He has insinuated that Kamala Harris has slept her way to the top, and that is what allowed her to become our Democratic vice presidential nominee. He has also called Kamala Harris a mattress. All of these things happening recently, and it has been just an absolute disappointment to see so many people spreading and continuing this narrative. So when you got, and you may have seen on Amazon the shirt, Joe and the Hoe. This whole narrative came from Rush Limbaugh and a group of conservative commentators. That's right. There were shirts on Amazon being sold that said Joe and the Hoe. And so there's a whole series of attacks against her from the conservative community, portraying her in this way. And I wanted to kind of open the floor and see what your thoughts were about this unfortunate phenomenon that's coming from this recipient of the Congressional Medal of Freedom given to him by President Donald J. Trump.
Well, I'll take this one, Morocco, if you feel uncomfortable. I'm just going to say, for me, it is like, really? Your president married an escort? Maybe she was more than an escort, but she posed naked for Playboy. Like, are you serious? He grabs people by the pee. I didn't make that up. Okay. He said that himself. Like, really? Are we really going to go? I think for me, the campaign is like, I don't care what you pull up on these people, because nothing can be any worse than what we already have for me. Like, I don't even care. She was a hoe. Make sure she an honest hoe.
I mean,
like,
it's one of those things, man. You expect that from, certain people. I'm not surprised. And, they're appealing to a certain base, and sometimes I'm disappointed with such thing. Well, when people believe certain things, because I'm just like, oh, I'm not surprised. They had to come up with something. They have to, sully somebody's reputation. Even when Barack was running, and so they got to find something. And it's like, we know what it is. And I always tell I go to Africa a lot, and they not everybody wants to come to America, but they ask me how America is, and I'm saying, well, as a person of African ancestry, anybody that's Black, we got to work 2 and 3 times as hard to get half as much. We fight so much to get what we get, to get where we are. They only let so many through. And we grow up with a healthy dose of PTSD, a healthy dose of stress, and it's all by design. Yeah. So stuff like that, stuff that Trump or whoever says, man, it's like listening to somebody crazy ramble on the street. I'm not going to sit there and give you an audience. I'll just nod and smile like, oh, okay, and keep it moving, bro. You know what I mean? Because I can't feed my mind with it. I can't nourish because we know what the truth is. No matter what they try to say about, Miss Harris or anybody in that administration, you look at, another cat just got arrested. You know what I mean? It's like Most of your cabinet members have been arrested.
The one and only Steve Bannon from Breitbart News, stone cold racist, and finally, he has been arrested.
Let's be real. You know what I mean? So for me to give them any energy, man, or being upset about it, it's like, no, I expect that. I expect that. You know, I expect to be pulled over by the cops. I expect that. I expect when I get on an elevator that a Caucasian woman will grab her purse. I expect that. I expect when I'm walking down the street, white people are going to cross the street. I expect that. I expect that. You know what I mean? And that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. But I'm not surprised. You know, I'm surprised when people say, "Hi, good morning."
You know, as sad as it is, right? You know, as sad as it is, I agree with you, Morocco and Tracey. I do. I'm not surprised. I was not surprised at Rush Limbaugh's comments and what he's saying. Like, that didn't surprise me at all. And Ashley agrees. And hey, glad you're here. But I will tell you what did surprise me is that so many Black people jumped on the train. Yeah. And Morocco, you know what? I don't know. I think you said, we know. I don't think all of us do. I don't think some of us know. I don't think some of our people get it. And they don't understand how the media chooses to misalign us. I'm disappointed that you have a Black woman who has been appointed to or nominated for the second highest position in the land. A woman of mixed cultural heritage, a graduate of a historically Black college and university, the second woman ever to be elected to the United States Senate, and a member of a Divine Nine sorority. And I still saw a number of men, particularly Black men, attacking her and feeding into this narrative and saying these things. And it's also concerning to me that anytime a woman is put in a high opportunity, something related to, like, these derogatory terms come out. They're going to either say the B word or they're going to say the H word. And I'm like, all of that concerns me a great deal. And I'm hoping that Joe Biden's victory and Kamala Harris is becoming our vice president will kind of tear all of that down and make it, where it's not acceptable to do that. And the fact this man is still on TV.
We got to vote, though.
The fact that he still has a platform. I don't feel as though you should be able to call a United States senator a hoe, and then you in a mattress, and you still have a platform.
Well, but look at who supporting him.
You shouldn't. You shouldn't. You
But
shouldn't. But it's. The rules aren't the same for certain people. The rules aren't the same, and brother, when it comes to the politics, man, it's one of those things where you can have no dirt, you could be the most giving, most honest, realist, trying to help the people and find something. It don't matter. Like I say, I'm not surprised that it doesn't matter. And then you have our people saying that she's not Black or she's not Black enough, and it's just like I just got to check out. I really just have to it's like I can't nourish my brain or my body or my spirit with the negativity. Because it's just too much. It's too much, and I just say, okay, we just got to vote. We got to get the right people in office, and, not just in the higher office, in the other offices too, man. We just got to be proactive, man. And we can't be lulled to sleep because we're lulled to sleep all the time. We forget. We have a short memory. I don't see myself retiring in this country. My spirit just isn't here anymore. I put in a lot of work, and I just want to go somewhere kinder and gentler where I don't have to deal with such things. Anywhere you go, you're going to deal with something, but it's not like this.
Yeah.
Do you think you're going to go and retire and live, in Africa?
Oh, indeed, I do. I believe I will be, it will probably be a live their work here kind of deal, until, um, until I just, where I don't have to just, I don't, where I want to position myself where, oh, okay, we got a show shooting. I'll fly in, meet the cast, meet the crew, and say, all right, good, boom. Then I'm back in my, wherever I am. I just spiritually, you know, it's a privilege to not have to fight every day. We fight every day, mentally, spiritually, sometimes physically, just to live, just to be, just to exist. And at some point, not saying I give up, but damn, you know what I'm saying? Like, damn, somebody could just really pull you out your car and shoot you.
Yeah.
Or stand or kneel on your neck or put you in a chokehold and say you're resisting and get off. Like, I'm cool on that.
Exactly.
So, and I mean, I'll continue doing my work here and my work there and my work wherever. But I know when I'm in motherland, there's no feeling like it. I've never felt that way ever. And I've been to 49 different countries. So there's no feeling like when I'm in.
Is there a particular country or city that you would recommend and say this should be your first trip to Africa? Because I've never been to Africa. So is there a specific place that I should try first?
Sure. I mean, well, my top 5 are Kampala, Uganda, Kigali, Rwanda, Accra, Ghana, Nairobi, Kenya, and Johannesburg, South Africa. All 5 of them are great places. They're beautiful cities, beautiful people. And you'll have the culture, the food's organic, the music is great, the people are warm. So when somebody said Egypt, I like Egypt, but I have seen a little bit of racism in Egypt with our Arab brothers and sisters with the darker hue, but I enjoyed Egypt and Morocco. I was just in Lagos, Nigeria, great time. But it's 22 million, and if you don't like 22 million, it's like 3-4 times the size of New York.
I love it.
Great time in Lagos. Bujumbura, Burundi was great. Mozambique. I mean, I've had a blast everywhere I've been. I'm not even gonna lie, man. Differently. There's a few more places I want to go, but I think it's a coin toss between Uganda and Rwanda for where I will buy land and build a home.
Wow. You got to take us with you the next time you go. Because we have never been.
Tracey, you're welcome to go. You're welcome to come. But you know what I'm saying? I've been getting people to go to Africa for some time now. So, come through, serious.
I have never had anyone ever recommend Uganda or Rwanda ever. So I'm really excited now to do some more research. This may need to be an offline conversation because you're the first person. But again, I think that you have a different perspective that is very valuable. I think, this quote is
Kigali is safest and cleanest city in all of Africa.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Mm-hmm. So I mean, they're beautiful people, man. It's a warm reception and just the landscape, the hills. It's a great time. It's a great time. It's a really great time. And
you teach classes out there. What is it like with the artists out there? Like, is there a difference in the kind of student?
Is there a difference in what? Say it again, Tracey.
In the kind of student, because you've taught several classes.
Oh, Yeah. So here's the thing. Rwandans very quiet. So my students in Rwanda were very quiet and reserved. My students in Uganda, they were excited. My students in Kenya, Botswana, Lagos, Nigerians, boy. Nigerians and Congolese are probably the most aggressive brothers and sisters you'll meet in a great way. You know what I'm saying? But they're hungry. A lot of them haven't had class, but the passion, they are on it, man. You're just like, whoo. I've seen some, like I just produced a film in Uganda, and I can't wait for my people here to see it because the work is lovely. They are putting in that work, man. They are working. We're working it out, man, and I'm very proud of them. But Chad, you have some great actors there, and they're fearless. They're fearless, and they're hungry for it. They're hungry, and I'm like, man. So I've been investing in films and documentaries over there, because I find stories that I've never heard before. There's stories and traditions, and you just like, whoa. I'm getting an education. So that you can never find here. Not saying we don't have original stories, but every time I sit down and I'm talking, okay, right, brother. I'm trying to write stuff and remember stuff. Like, man, this is great. Because you hear about leaders, kings, and that, and you're just like, I didn't know this story because we don't get it. We don't that here. History starts with slavery, and then we talk about Dr. King and Rosa Parks, and okay, the end. That's Black history for us. You know what I'm saying? We don't get the Maasai, the Zulus, the Xhosas, the Akans and all that. We don't get into the tribal stuff, of what it's like to go from boyhood to warriorhood to manhood, to the elder, what those procedures are, or what the marriage ceremonies are in Ethiopia or Eritrea. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like I'm getting education, when I'm there all the time. Every time I go, man, I get an education, So,
You make me want to go. I ain't gonna lie, because when I see your posts on Instagram, I'll be like, that motherfucker's still over and he back over there. And we win without me, So I'm kind of like,
anytime I free time, I'm gone, man.
Do the children go?
No, not yet, man. My oldest is old enough to go. She's like, I'm gonna go there. I'm like, all right. So, once I get this house, I'm gonna just drag her. The youngest is ready.
Oh,
the
wow.
youngest is ready to go. She's, just gonna have to put her on my back, and we just go on a safari because I wanted to see the Great Migration in the Masai Mara. I want her to see that. Just since she's homeschooled this year, that might be, spring break, we go and see the Great Migration, depending on the shooting schedule, P Valley next year. Yeah.
Well, I'm coming too, because I'm going to be honest, growing up for me, Africa wasn't a place that was endearing. It wasn't a place that seemed like I wanted to go. Every image that I saw or every story that I read about Africa was something negative. And so it just never really drew me in. And then when I was in college, I had a very negative experience with an acting teacher who was from Nigeria. And he just, I was like, see, that's why I don't want to go over there, because of how y'all think about us over here. And so it just really, in my mind, I was like, they don't like us. They don't want us over there either. So this has really encouraged me to let some of that. Now I want to go. So next time you go, I'm going.
Yeah. And I mean, that's one of the things. Of course, the Western world or the Western media is not in the business of showing you the beauty of Africa. They get know what is their payoff for that. You know, when you see advertisements, you see Paris, you see Italy, you see Europe, you know, you know, Spain, you know, there's no, for you to reconnect with Africa or Africans, there's no, you know, they disconnected. There's so much. Why can't you? You know, why? Where? I mean, but you think about this, Tracy, when they show us in the media, what do they show?
The negative.
Right. And so your professor
They
only
don't show
saw that
no.
in Africa.
Well,
In the same way that,
Yeah, and I mean that's one
people, you know, just because he, you know, he doesn't identify, he's not African American, so he doesn't consider himself Black, he considers himself Nigerian. So when he sees these negative portrayals of Black people in America in the media, he's getting the same level of institutionalized racism as white people. Except for him, it's totally different because he has nothing to counter it, because he doesn't see or interact with Black people to give a counter narrative. And that's why it's so important.
No, he interacted with Black people. He thought we were lazy.
But I'm saying it's from his experiences in Africa, not lived experiences, but imagined, perceived experiences. And that's why it's so important for Kamala Harris to be vice president. Let me explain. There are people all around, there are people in the United States of America who have no interactions with Black people at all. Except what they see on television and what they get exposed to in the media. So they really don't know that Black women aren't like Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion as they are portrayed in WAP. Not saying that's what they're portraying, and that's what they believe Black women to be. So when someone like Rush Limbaugh comes and says Kamala Harris is a hoe and a mattress, of course she's a hoe in a mattress, because that's what Black women are, because that's all we see. And that's why it's important to have representation that fights and goes against that counter narrative.
Okay.
I mean, also, you know, I was having this conversation before, you know, because I've heard that, like, you know, Africans don't like us when they over here. I'm like, well, ask yourself, how many have you welcomed into your home? How many times have you frequented an African restaurant? What do you know about the culture? Do you have any connection at all? You know, yeah, we all said Wakanda forever, but you know, and we wear T-shirts and hats or whatever, and some, you know, kente cloth or whatever. But it's one of those things we don't even know, or a lot. I'm not going to say everybody, but don't even care. So for someone, if I go to a country, if I went to my town in Chicago and I came back, let's say I have 5 generations from now and I came back to Chicago and I was just like, these people don't look, they look like me, but they don't act like me. They don't have any history. They have nothing, everything. They look like the people that they so-called give them hell. You know, You know what I mean? So it's one of those things where, not that we've lost tradition, it was taken from us. It was stripped from us. We've been stripped. You know, we were brought here, forced to work here, forced another language, forced religion, forced this, forced that. And then now, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 generations later, we have no connection to where our ancestors were stolen from. And we don't care.
That's it.
That's the mental slavery. That's the mental slavery. So imagine 5 generations from now, your great-great-grandkids say, you know what? I don't care where Zach is from or Tracey is from. I want to know where I want to go visit the person who gave him hell or gave her hell. I want to go and pay homage to where they're from. I have no desire to know your history, my grandparents, my great-grandparents' history. I want to know where they're from, who did that to them. So it's almost this self-hate, and it's by design, because anytime you've seen Africans in cartoons and movies, they've been cannibals, they've been, so-called voodoo or this and that. You know what I'm saying? An African booty scratcher was put down. You black, look how black you are, was a put down. You know what I mean? So we've been stripped of our own culture, man. We've been raped of that. And so for someone coming from another continent and seeing that, like, wow, this is interesting, and we don't welcome them because we feel, oh, your boots smell funny. Well, look at you. What are you wearing? You know what I'm saying? So we are disconnected from what it means.
And Tracey, that's we need to go to Africa and probably go to Rwanda or Uganda or somewhere, that is not that isn't South Africa, or that isn't in the Middle East, somewhere that is truly, truly in the heart of Africa, and that's going to give you a unique experience and a unique culture. But that's very valid. I mean, everything you're saying, I 100% agree with, because that is how systemic racism works, to ensure self-hate continues and to ensure that countries and partners and things that are invested in the American capitalist society grow and thrive. Tracey?
And Morocco, you better take me the next time you go. I got my passport.
So we definitely want to keep it light on the news, because everyone's watching the DNC, getting ready for the DNC, getting ready to gear up for the DNC. But at the conclusion of every one of our live casts, we always do the up, the down, the clown, and the products that we love. So, what are the things, any good news to share this week that we've seen in the news, or that's just something that you want to share?
Morocco, you go first.
No. I didn't get the whole question because he's breaking up on my end. What was the question, Tracey? What was the?
It was what is some good news that you'd like to share? What's going on, either in the news or in your personal life?
Some good news to share?
Yes.
Oh man, what is some good news to share? I mean, I don't know. You don't ever think about that next breath, but I'm able to breathe that next breath, man. I'm here. I'm healthy. My family's healthy. I have a career that I'm proud of. And I'm proud of my daughters. And I know that I made my father and my mother proud. You know what I mean? I wear their name. I look like them, and I'm a simple man with a dynamite plan, man. So, next year I will be breaking. I plan to buy land and start building in the motherland. And, I'm simple, man. I keep my hat low, and I try to stay incognito, man, and just fly under the radar and do my work and go home, man. If you catch me, if you recognize me, sure, I'm gonna say hello, because my hero is Muhammad Ali, and I want to walk with the people, inspire the people, and stand for my people. But I didn't get in this to be famous. I get it. I do it because I love it. Sometimes I hate it, but I love it more than I hate it. And I just continue walking forward and mentoring young actors and filmmakers, and hopefully when it's all said and done and I close my eyes, that I made a difference and I affected one person, and I planted one tree, and I gave back, and I set an example.
Well, you affected me.
Easy like Sunday morning, baby boy.
Ooh, I love it.
Yeah.
That's a great up.
That is crazy. What do you have as an up for the week?
I'm getting this house. I don't know if it's a up, down, or a clown this week.
It is an up.
Whew, that's it. Thank you.
That is up. My up for the week, of course, is the Democratic National Convention.
Yeah.
And the inspirational speeches and all of the effort that they put in to really try to bring a variety of groups from America in our country together at a time that we are so divisive. And as we have, of course, every weekend up, we also have, of course, a down. And this down is, of course, the attack against the United States Postal Service. I never thought that I would live in a time where the post office would be under attack. When so many people depend on the post office, especially during a crisis, for their mail, for medication. Elderly people have no idea. Some of them don't know what FedEx is.
Yeah.
They don't know how to order anything off of an Amazon.
Nope.
And now people are legitimately having their actual medications delayed. I've heard lots of people talk about that in the past 2 weeks. I know that my mail service comes every other day in my neighborhood. I get mail every other day, and it comes at night. It used to come in the day. Now my mail comes at like 9 o'clock at night. So I'm actually 9 o'clock at night. I have not gotten mail today. Today is my mail day. So in DeKalb County, Georgia, mail comes today. This is it. Doesn't come Wednesday, won't come Friday. I'll get mail today. Won't get mail. I'll get mail Saturday. Won't get it again until sometimes Wednesday. And so, sometimes on Tuesday. The mail is going to come today. I'm waiting. It hasn't come yet. But this to me is this is a huge down. I think that it's really heartbreaking that we're at this point in America. I know that they said the attack against the United States Postal Service will kind of stop now, but I also saw where, the new Postmaster General isn't going to put in the rapid sorting machines. He took them out. He's not putting them back in. So all of that is very concerning. I definitely think that is the down.
That is crazy to me. I don't check my mail every day. So I don't know if I'm missing anything, but that's insane. What have we become is my question. What country have we become? I guess we've become who we've always been.
In addition to our up and the down, we also have every week a clown. And unfortunately, this week's clown very well may be.
Yes. Absolutely. Tim Norman is the clown of the week. There is no denying this. How do you plot and plan and murder your nephew?
Well, he refused. We don't know if he did it. Allegedly, this is what he's done.
Allegedly. But here, I've been following this since yesterday, since it came out. And I've been watching old footage of the show. And I'm just like, this man went to the site where the boy was killed and put on this facade like he was hurt and angry about the murder of his nephew. And all the while, he was the one. Like, these people were having vigils about Black on Black crime and crime in our communities must stop. And whomever did this needs to be brought to justice. And it was the man standing right with them. Like, how do you do that? So,
If he did it, maybe he didn't. But the allegations and the news reports are very concerning.
Yeah, not the allegations, the proof that they have. It's
the actual testimony. Have you guys actually been to Sweetie Pies? Has anybody actually been?
You know about Sweetie Pies,
Morocco?
You ever been to Sweetie Pies in St. Louis? It's Oprah Winfrey.
Yeah. I saw. I've been there actually. Yeah, I saw a blurb on it, man, and I just couldn't. Like, sometimes, you know what I'm saying. Sometimes I just got to protect my spirit and just say, you know what, keep moving on. I see it, and like I don't want to see that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I have days like that. I have moments where I just have to check out.
Yeah, absolutely.
And condolences to the family.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just have to shoot myself from it because. Yeah, man, your spirit and your soul, you got to protect it. It's very delicate. And I don't want to become numb. I think we've become numb. We're watching Mr. Floyd died on TV, we've become numb. We're watching 8 minutes of someone being murdered, and sometimes some of us are just eating while we're watching it, so I got to protect my spirit, man, and yeah, that's another reason, man. I'm like, this, because we're for the most part, I'm a recluse. I stay here in my home and try to social distance and hang over. But I just got to keep my spirits up until these borders open and I can get on the flight.
Absolutely.
Get out of here for a while. Come back and work.
I'm going with you.
Because it's one of those things. We're constantly in the media. We watch. I went to a period I was watching CNN and all this, and you're just constantly bombarded with what Trump said or what he tweeted, or somebody being killed, or somebody being murdered, or what's going on in Chicago or whatever in the streets. You're just like, look, man, it's a lot. It's a lot. Yeah, I want to be aware and I want to be in tune, but you know what? I need to check out and just take care of my own existence, because it can turn us dark.
Yeah.
It could just, I think that's one of the things. It's like, it's like a lot of times people are picking at you, so you explode in the street and you end up getting arrested, because you compounded all this stress, and then somebody just cut in front of you and you got road rage, you jump out the car, and just because of all this stress, so I just have to, I'll pick and choose what I want to read. And I was just like, I don't want to read this. And I don't want to see that. When people post black people fighting in the street, I don't want to see it.
Yeah,
because I want my people to be better. I do. I want my people to be better. I want to champion my people, man. And and I mean, I've had my share of fights. Don't get me wrong, but it's just I'm just on a different path where I'm just like, I need peace in every facet of my life. I gotta have peace.
In an effort,
to create, to love.
Yeah, absolutely. In an effort to bring a little more peace, a little more love, a little more unity for our people, give us a product that you are using or that you support in our community.
Yep.
Oh yeah, my girl in Brooklyn, man. She makes jewelry out of denim, so it's called Made in Denim. She's on Etsy, and she's also on Instagram. Made in Denim. Very dope stuff. Beautiful, like necklaces, rings, and bracelets and cuffs. Earrings and stuff for women. I think she makes men. She said she was branching off the men jewelry. So she's very dope. So if you get a chance, check out her page. It's Maiden, like a maiden and denim. So yeah, she's on Instagram.
We'll check that out.
I will check them out.
Yeah, she's pretty dope.
Denim out in Brooklyn. I will check her out in Brooklyn.
I can see you wearing some like denim earrings and having I can see that. I can so see that.
Okay, Morocco, give me my first pair.
Yeah. So yeah, and she's and it's reasonable. It's not like it's hundreds of dollars. She's very reasonable. I'm trying to. I hit up the costume designer for P Valley, so somebody should rock her stuff on there because she deserves. She deserves it. She's been putting that work, man, and she's dope. You want to support your people, man.
Absolutely.
When Beyonce wear it, then everybody gonna be like, "Oh," you're like, "Yeah, I told y'all about that 3 years ago."
Okay,
you're right.
So.
My product.
So yeah.
My product is someone out in Brooklyn. He actually lives here. His name is Craig Henderson. And he is an artist that I bought my first custom piece, and I wanted to show y'all. He's so freaking dope. He's so freaking dope. And I'm in the process of moving, so I'm taking everything off my walls. And I took this big old thing off my wall. I don't know if you can see it because of the light, but he custom made this piece, man. And I just, a brother out here doing his thing. So yeah, Craig Henderson. He is Craig from Brooklyn on Instagram. That is Craig from BKLYN. So that's my product.
That is a great picture, and so I'm excited for your color pattern. So Tracey, you're gonna kind of keep the home. Is it already? Are you choosing your colors and painting everything? You're getting everything, or?
I'm only painting one room, and that is my taping studio. It will be this same color.
You're gonna stick with gray.
Everything else, I'm not touching nothing. I've spent all my life savings on this house. So if you want to paint something,
okay. And so and you recommend that gray. I'm doing my little studio downstairs for recording. And so we want, and that's a darker gray though, right?
It is. It's more of a pewter. I forget the color name of the color. It actually was the wrong color. It was not the color that I picked. They made something, and I've fallen in love with it. So
it's a great choice. So that is definitely, we are at our hour, and it has been a pleasure. Morocco, my brother, thank you so much for joining us on the 3+1 live cast. We appreciate you. We look forward to seeing more of you, not only on P-Valley and on the other work that you're going to do, but also just your journey as you continue to grow, continue to evolve, and continue to bring all of us with you. I think a journey towards peace is something that everybody needs right now, and is a word to carry us through the week. It's a great word for the end of what's been, I think, for a lot of people, a very stressful week. And so I know I will be definitely meditating on the thoughts of maybe, again, when the pandemic has come to its conclusion, making a trip to Rwanda or Uganda.
Let's go.
It might be. I don't think it's a super expensive trip either. So I think, yeah, Tracey, getting there is expensive. But I think the actual experience itself may not be so much. That's something to think about and to consider. So, all right, guys, thank you all for joining, and thank both of you for being here with us today.
Thank you, Morocco. I love you. Thank you so much for doing this for us. So thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Bye, y'all.
Bye, guys.
Right on. All right. Appreciate it.